Welcome to...
Hello! I am Logan Houseman. This is Nick Peterson, Nick Hub. That channel does not exist. Don't
look that up.
Don't look it up. It will take you to a Pornhub titled Nicholas.
Hold on, I think I'm going, but I think I tested a little bit. It was just like barely off. It was just like barely off, and I took so long to center it, and it looked good, and now I want to cry.
We've been fucking with the lights way too much.
Yeah, that's true. The lights are just too much fun to mess with in this room in here.
They are so much fun, honestly. The last place that I worked at, which was a pinball arcade in my hometown, if you Google me hard enough or listen to the words I say, you can find it.
What if
Please
someone
don't.
pinpointed where we were just by like our accent? Like, given that I don't really notice.
Oh, by our accent?
Yeah, like by our accent, because I've heard that I mean, I'm just gonna say Colorado because I don't think it's a secret that we're in Colorado. We're a channel
Obviously.
called MountainTime. Like,
Well, we could be in Idaho.
yeah, we could be in Idaho, I guess.
Shoot, who the fuck wants to live in
Who
Wyoming?
wants to be in Idaho?
Who's a famous YouTuber in Wyoming? No one.
No one lives in Wyoming.
Oh, all I've got Wyoming stories to tell, but yeah, it's easy to tell we live in Colorado.
Yeah.
Because that's the most important mountain place. And then second and third place are Idaho and Montana. But how much do you hear about Idaho and Montana when Denver is such a hot spot for music?
But
And it's such a good place to live.
more so to the point. What if someone just like literally like, because I feel like I don't ever notice our accent compared to like other accents, you know?
I talked to a woman who believed she didn't have an accent and she was from Arkansas. And I was like, all right, say the word mountains. And she was like, mountains. I'm like, there you go. Coloradans say mountains, mountains. We don't say the T, and anything in between the T and the N is just gone. So like, if you have an accountant, it's an accountant.
Yeah.
And technically, our accent is the most American accent out there.
I was gonna say, because I feel like whenever I hear like something, whether it be someone on YouTube which isn't like regionally distributed, or like something that was nationally broadcasted or something, like I feel like I usually don't notice their accents really, and it makes me feel nice and at home.
It really does, yeah. We fucking ride it up, you Southerners. And it's weird whenever you meet someone from the South who actually has an accent like that. Like someone from Texas or Alabama. If you live in Texas and Alabama, you will not understand my pain. But when you meet someone from there, you really do think that they're just doing a bit.
Oh
And
no, it's real. Like, especially when they just start out, like when you first meet them.
And they're like, hey y'all. And you're like,
And
what?
like, howdy. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one to just roll with any joke any given person just pitches at me, you know?
Yeah, I often do Southern accents. Like, the job that I work at right now is erosion control. I just have to do it so I can, pay my bills now, instead of my cool ass job of pinball maintenance. But, whenever, like, anyone fucks up anything and then, like, fixes it, I look up to the sky and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. And people start laughing and stuff like that. But then I meet someone that's like, I don't get what people get confused about grits. I mean, grits is just ground up corn. There's nothing too simple about that. I'm like, are you doing a bit right now? Are you doing a bit? Because it's not funny right now, Frank. It's not funny. And accents are so fun. And
Oh, I love doing
interesting.
accents. Even just like, and I always feel weird doing accents around people that actually have that accent. Because I don't want to be like racist in a way that I don't really get necessarily.
Yeah, because you've got the one girl from Latvia.
Belarus.
Oh yeah, you got the one girl from Belarus that he works with. I've got two men from Nicaragua that have accents. One of them doesn't even speak English, so I'm not even going to bother with him. But the other one speaks broken English, and I love him. He plays Dark Souls.
That's the main reason to love someone.
And unlike me, he beat the Nameless King. Manuel,
Wow.
if
Wait.
you're listening, I love you.
You never beat
You're
the
the best.
Nameless King?
Shut up! He's hard.
No, I genuinely thought you did at some point, because like I...
Oh wait, no. Shit. No, I did.
Okay.
But
You're not
I did-
gaslighting me, are you?
no, I'm not gaslighting you. I swear. 4 out of my 5 playthroughs of that game, like, I couldn't beat him, obviously. And then I I tried again as the Pyromancer, ironically, and then I just sort of whooped his ass.
Well, there you go.
But I couldn't beat all the bosses in that game, though. For some reason, while I was the Pyromancer, I couldn't beat the Osiris.
Okay.
And I don't know why, honestly. He's a really easy boss, and I just couldn't. Like,
Oh no, there's ones like that'll get me. Did I ever tell you that I did a run through on Dark Souls? I did many run throughs on Dark Souls 3, to be fair.
oh, it's so much fun to do different ones.
But I did one where I was doing a caster because I never play casters. I'm always just a strength boy.
Yeah.
And I was doing, or it was a miracle caster more so than that. And there's a spell where you can just sort of shut down spells in the area around you.
Yeah, I do know that one.
And you can just like ruin. Like I've always had a really hard time with Aldrich in Dark Souls 3 for whatever reason. You just can
Aldrich
get
is
me.
such an asshole.
Yeah, he just has my number.
It's because of that fucking arrow thing. If
Yeah,
you didn't
well,
have the fucking
That's
arrow
the thing,
thing.
is with this spell specifically, you can do it's I want to say it's like Vow of Silence or something, and you cast it right as he's like pulling out his bow. Then he'll try to cast a spell, but no arrows will come, and so you can just kick his ass, and it's so nice.
He fires off the arrows into the air, and it goes bum 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 bum. Wow. Wow, zoom in, zoom out. The listeners cannot see, but the viewers have something to look at.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be confused as shit that's actually like watching our videos, which like
Whoever has just turned off their phone and is just listening to us understand that Nick is just changing the frame up a bit because...
Well, I don't know, there's like this box like, okay, let me see if I can get it in the actual, there's a box on the camera right here, I can't do my, like right here.
You've been drinking too much.
Well, I've been drinking a little bit, but not enough.
Not as much as me.
Not as much as you, but it's just off center on my side, and I don't know why. And I feel like that's the focus box. I want it to be on point.
You want it to be on you.
Like, by all means, this channel looks weirdly professional, but this is by all means.
This is the most amateur thing ever. Logan Hub looked amateur as shit, but because we had Luke behind it, who had a degree in physical, like, we've had like directors and voice actors on the show and stuff like that, and we've been in like interviews and shit like that. That amateur looking production looked amateur as shit, but really was professional as could be, outside of like being paid and shit like that.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, this professional looking thing, which has a much bigger chance of being paid, is really just
it's
mostly
all just running
like,
through me. This is all just...
It's 90% him and like 10% me starring on it sometimes, which is going to suck because I'm going to need to help make the Logan Hub goodbye video, which 1,000 people will watch.
Yay.
But I'm actually kind of nice for it because you might get an influx of maybe like 50 subs.
I was gonna say, this has been like, I always forget how nice it was having just like even that many subs. Just like 22,000 isn't like high in overall YouTube standards, but like I forgot how nice it was just like posting a video and then being like, all right, we're at like 500 views and we got like 100 comments.
That is like, always when we first started out Logan Hub and we got our first video, which was Pepe, up to 500. I almost cried. I didn't show my stepdad until 9,000 views on Pepe, and he was astonished because you never really realized that. Okay, a view counts for one person viewing it multiple times. I get that. So it could have been 1,000 people watching it 9 times. But that's still, like, a small grade school full of children that all watch your video twice and know your name. And you could just walk to any classroom and they'll be like, that's Logan. That's Nick. Like, that is...
It's nice.
That's honoring. Except they could be any age range at all, from 60 to 1. Okay, 60 to 6. Okay, 60 to 4. Let's be real here. In this day and age.
Oh, you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying. And it's kind of flattering, you know, in a way.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to just have people that want to talk to you about stuff on your channel. That's
why originally I didn't really give a shit about being paid or anything like that, because the gratification that someone out there in America knew my name and could recognize me. I've only been recognized 3 times in my life. And 2 of them don't count because they were middle school little fuckers. But one time was a redneck that came into my bar while I was bartending. I did bartend very briefly. came into my bar and was like, I swear I recognize you from somewhere. I'm like, did you go to this school? Did you work with me here? And he's like, no. Didn't you have a YouTube channel? I'm like, was it Logan Hub? He's like, yeah, dude, I watched your video on memes. And that fucking meant the world to me. I was like, I actually got recognized by someone in my town by chance.
Which is like, hell yeah.
Oh my god, it's so much like hell yeah. It really does. It makes you feel like all that effort was worth it, because when you're behind your computer and you see like this video's got a lot of views, you're like, yeah, it could tell me I got 10 billion views, but I wouldn't believe it because I don't know any person that's ever told me that in person. But once someone goes out of their way to like meet you and shake your hand and shit and like even get a photo with you, you're like, well, shit, I've actually made it. Like, this is proof. This is like evolutionary, like,
evidence.
Proof. Yeah, evidence in your brain that says, through a black box on my desk that's connected to a bigger black box, I have somehow been able to communicate with another human, and I've left a message with them, and that is fucking dank. But giving up Logan Hub has been it's been rough, because we've given it like 2 or 3 chances before we just decided, it's not going to work.
No, we just can't seem to get it going.
I think it's because we just missed our bandwagon, and once people get the idea that something is dead, then they don't give it up, you know?
And also, especially with memes nowadays, like we said in like one of our later videos in that on that channel, memes are just kind of like, they die too fast nowadays. It's just like,
yeah, I did the PSA.
Yeah, we did the PSA on it. That's what I was just saying.
And the Big Chungus.
Yeah.
Technically.
We did both of them sort of about it.
That will be my last explained ever. And I feel like I gave it a good send-off to a degree. Well, Luke actually gave it a pretty good send-off. And Luke is not as internet heavy as Nick and I are. So it's very hard to convey the editing style that we require. So he does our web scouts and shit like properly. And he's, by all means, Logan Hub would never exist without Luke.
And if Logan Hub never existed, I don't think this would ever exist.
Exactly. He kicked off everything for us. Everything that we talked about, and he showed us how to do everything, and God bless Luke. He's done everything. God bless. I says enchanté. I says enchanté. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Luke is a godsend. Lord enchanté. But Luke never really got that like whole editing style of our favorite YouTubers like Jantran, Super Mega. He always had his own style, and it always came off as like a very, very normie. And by all means, I'm like a Chad normie, like robot hybrid.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I have like very normie moments at very least.
Oh, for sure. I'm not even going with like just normie moments. I just mean like normal functioning member of society moments. That's not good for memes. That's not good for memes.
That's not what you want for memes. You don't want to function in society for memes.
But I still got a bit of robot in me that allows me the highest quality and allows the appreciation of memes. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
Maybe in a less like unpopular way, but you still get it.
Yeah, I get the base concept at very least. And
Luke is just 100% functioning member of society, which isn't a bad thing as far as life happiness goes. but it doesn't go well for memes. And then when I started catching on to that, it spirals. Like, you stop looking at memes with like likeness, and you just start looking at them at disgust. And the most you could do is like quote them ironically in public because you hate them so much. But because you hate them and because they're already dead, once you say them, he either comes off as, this guy gets it, he's on a layer of irony, or this guy's acting like my dad right now and he's saying lol epic noob.
See, that's the thing, is that like there's such this breach between irony that just, you have to be on some level of irony for like every meme. It better not smell like feet here in a fucking minute.
If it does, I'll vape on them. Well, shit. Stopping.
Does it smell like feet? I don't know, I didn't smell like
in my area, if you want
to.
to.
No, I don't want to come over there and take a whiff.
I could go grab my mommy's vape and then vape on it.
Just vape up on that right
from my mommy.
Go beat up your mom, take her vape from her. Kick your mom's ass.
My mom will kick my ass. Are you kidding me? I'm a pacifist.
Yeah,
I'm not a soy boy, but I'm a pacifist. With reason. Not a soy boy. Not a soy boy.
I find the term soy boy just really audibly stimulating?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Autoerotic asphyxiation, that's the word I'm looking for.
It's,
Speaking of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Speaking of soy boy, I used to hate that term because, I'll go ahead and declare my political alliance without getting into it, but I've always been a Democrat and whatnot. I'm not smart, but I'm smart in certain fields. Just like someone who is gifted mathematically probably doesn't know feng shui so well, or artistic appreciation, or an ability to construct a house. Like, it's just that. I know my politics, I know what I like, I know what I don't like. And if you want to fight me, don't. I'm not here to start a fight. But I felt like the term soy boy was just another term to, like, degrade my people. My people! Because, I don't know, maybe the blue state eats more soybeans than the red state. But then I thought about it more and more, and I'm about to go do a theater show for a middle school for our old theater teacher, and a lot of the students that she asked are just fucking soy boys. Like, there's no other way of putting it. Their testosterone is so low. I work outside, I lift silt fences, I hammer them in, I use a big-ass tractor with a big-ass chainsaw to toil the earth. Like, I'm fine as far as testosterone goes. My lunch is beef jerky. And they're like, they go out to New York City, and they hate confrontation, and they just find life so hard. And it's just so hard that they just don't know if they can hold it in. They just want to shout and listen to 21 Pilots. And I'm not going to judge you for the lifestyle that you live. I'm a firm supporter of LGBTQ. I don't care. It's just, we came from a theater productions society when we were freshmen in high school, and the seniors were all awesome, badass. They weren't afraid to work hard, get their hands dirty. They could pick up, like, spiders and throw them at you. They were all cool. They would slap your ass with a license plate. They weren't afraid of their sexuality. They were real type A'ers when I was a type B.
I don't know that they were type A, because I feel like type A sort of denotates that, like, Wall Street sort of mentality. Did you just lick my... No, that was the back of your head. But, oh no.
Now I did.
But isn't type A like that personality type of like a Wall Street broker that's like real organized and you need to be working to feel XYZ?
I suppose type A was the wrong way to put it. I suppose alpha is a better way to put it. Like dominant.
I just wanted to fully understand your statement.
Like in a couple, they would definitely be on top. All of them. And we looked up to them.
Well,
and when we looked up to them, every single freshman when we were seniors were all soy boys. They were all like little babies. And they resented us and like ganged up on us because there was more of them being little babies than we were. And like I said, I will respect you if you're of a certain demographic. But when you're just being a baby for the sake of being a baby and just being sensitive, it's not like I'm going to go out of my way to bully you or anything like that. It's just that if your babiness has infringed on mine and you're practically bullying me with your requirements and restrictions, then I'm sorry, but respecting that is a little bit harder when it's more of a mandatory sort of situation. And I don't know, it's really hard to put it without being disrespectful to people who are like that.
This is a controversial podcast.
Sorry, that's it. That's done. It's just, I'm going to have to deal with them tomorrow. He's going to have to deal with them tomorrow. And I don't want anyone getting all up in arms because I said the word shit instead of, like, darn. You know?
Alright, but hear me out. New business idea. You've heard of Uber, you've heard of Uber Eats. Now the new dating app, Uber Skeets. You swipe through different people, you select the one you want, and then that person drives over to your house and bangs you.
And you're talking to me about controversial issues?
Well, I'm not the one that's sitting over here like, I don't like this demographic of people. Tinder exists. Tinder is not a controversial topic.
Let me just Domino's myself a prostitute.
See, that's awesome. That's comedy.
My prostitute tracker is on
We're a comedy channel.
No, we're not.
Yes, we
We review microwavable pizzas. That's what I tell everyone on our YouTube channels.
Yeah, we used to review microwavable pizzas. You know, Red Barons mostly. Little Totino's on the side when we wouldn't feel like splurging.
Excuse you, sir. I only do Michelangelo's, which is the gluten-free option.
But think about that. Just a dude comes over to your house and you're going, do you want water with that? Can I get you anything to eat?
Would you like to talk to my manager? And the manager comes in, he's naked, and he's like, how can I help you today? And he squeezes your ass cheeks. Okay. What did you see that post that I showed you? It was, well, obviously, you have eyes.
Yeah, I have eyes.
Where it's like, you've heard of Vans, the shoe company. Now what about Shoes, the van company? I love that.
Like, stop posting in this group.
Please, I'm asking you to leave this group. So that was
I would invest in Vans or in Shoes the Van company.
And also for anyone that wants to, well, the 3 people that probably got to that point, if you want to debate, just message me on my Twitter. I don't know. I'm open for an equal exchange of ideas. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, I have to post our Twitters on here eventually. We actually have our Twitters posted on none of our videos.
Yeah, you should probably do that. You should.
Well, we don't have an official Twitter, so like.
Oh shit! I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that today. I'll do that today after the podcast, okay?
Yay!
And then we'll film the Logan Hup goodbye video.
Oh, what the fuck is on my shirt?
Me?
Did I bleach this? Hold on. No, is there?
Let me see.
What is that?
No, that's the stain.
I'm gonna be so pissed off if that's a bleach
If it's
stain.
bleached, then it's red. No, that's
okay, no, it's
that's
just
a stain.
cum. It's
That's just cum. It's just cum.
Just cum.
Controversial video. Controversial. Nick jerks off.
We're gonna title this one the Controversial Podcast.
Nick jerks off to horse porn.
Oh, jeez. This is
No, that's the
episode
funniest part. Is that one of those seniors that I was talking about, the alpha? Well, in French class, me and him were in. One other guy that was pretty cool, and then our favorite senior was in that class. One of our favorite seniors. There's like 2 that were our favorite.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
I won't go ahead and name names, just so that the 3 people.
That way I don't have to bleep them out later.
Yeah. But he was a big hipster. He was the funniest guy I've ever met, other than number 1. And he fucking had this like sock monkey backpack. And one of these days, like one of the other people like looks in it and is like, "What's in your backpack?" He's like, "No, don't." And he's like, "Dude, there's a lot of horse porn in here." He's like, "Yeah, I know.
My
I
secret
put it
power."
in there. Yeah, my secret power. It gives me strength." And then suddenly you see the golden R around him turn into like a light pink and then like shut down.
He starts hovering a little bit.
He starts hovering a little bit. He's like, "I've been defeated." Fucking A, man. Shit. I had a thing to talk about that.
Were you gonna say that you saw horse porn in his backpack?
No, I saw horse porn accidentally while trying to find microwavable dish trays on Amazon, and they were like, "Horse porn. Here you go."
Well, I mean, if that's what Amazon thinks you want, Amazon knows, man.
Dude, horse porn is like fucking weird. I accidentally did stumble upon it because you go to like those like weird galleries or whatnot when you're younger and you don't know where to find what you want to find. And you just like click on a picture and it goes to a link to a different website, yada yada yada. And eventually it was like, "Watch girls getting done by horses," and you're like, "No." And I don't know like the parameters. I don't know the life choices that have led to it, whether it be by choice or something much grimmer, but dang, that is gross.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
No.
But also Amazon suggestions are just wild and off the wall. Like the other day when I was like, well, not the other day. The other day could be anywhere between like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And yesterday.
It wasn't another day.
But it was another day when I was like getting all the stuff for this room all set up, and I like bought this couch off of Amazon. And then it was like, "Oh, here's some suggestions for you. Here's a satanic statue.
Here's more horse porn."
A bunch of horse porn. Just a calendar of horse porn. Each day is different cock.
Each day is different cock.
Yeah, you know, you got that like.
How many different horse cocks fox are out there.
Well, you got like that cow pattern. You got like the straight color.
You got the stallion. Ooh, you got the prancer. You've got the shaven stallion. I don't think horse penises require shaving, if I'm recalling from my 7th grade repressed memories.
I mean, I don't know enough to argue that, but I also don't know how much maintenance horse coats take in the first place. Like, obviously they need brushing, and I know that's really important, but I don't know if you need to, like,
you
cut 'em
played
off.
Red Dead too.
Yeah, I played Red Dead. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
But I never had to trim my horse's hair in Red Dead, so I don't know if that's like a part of it.
You've never seen Arthur Morgan pull out the scissors and give him a little
Just
haircut?
do a little trim up on the coat.
Boy, your balls are looking real bad.
Because, like, obviously you can trim the mane, because that's, like, their head of hair. And you can trim the tail, because that's their pubes. But yeah, I don't know if you trim, like, the actual quote or not.
Sorry, that was a joke grenade.
I know, I was waiting for you to get that one.
See, a joke grenade, you pull the pin, you wait a few seconds, and then the people laugh. After the punchline, and then it goes boom.
See, that's what I feel like in everyday conversation, I'm good at joke grenades.
See, that's what I was talking about, or what I wanted to talk about is Sekiro.
Oh, you want to talk about Sekiro again? Hell yeah.
So, this is honestly from my perspective of Sekiro. A lot of people call it Sekiro because they're Gaijin Bakas. Which is, as we all know, lettuce hamburgers in Japanese.
That's true.
Okay, maybe it's a white foreigner or idiot foreigner. He is very good at Sekiro. I am not. And I do have a firm belief over why, and I have practice, and I do have confidence that I could be good at this, but Nick does not have the same ADD that I do, if he does have it, which maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like there's a pretty good chance that I have ADHD, because I feel like someone also just recently told me that ADD is no longer a thing, that it's just ADHD minus the H now, which is a weird distinction, but whatever.
Yeah, that's ADD, you dumbasses.
Yeah, right?
I used to have both. Now I've got one of them. I wish I had the energy for ADHD. That would be great if someone could give that to me, but I just have plain old attention deficit disorder.
You have the ad.
And it sucks. But people with both ADD, ADHD, this is actually a literal thing, is that your brains, when you have this, take an extra 1 to 3 seconds to process details. And I see it every day at work. I'll be talking to my boss, and he'll be like, I need you to put up this, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, what? But then 3 seconds, it registers, and he's like, I need you to put up the silt fence. I'm like, while he's re-explaining himself, I'm just like, okay. And I'll go do it. But I don't mean to. It literally takes me a couple of seconds for my brain to be like, wait,
Same thing, sort of, like, where someone will ask you something, and then you say what? And then in the middle of them re-explaining it back to you, you realize what they said in the first place, and then you're like, okay, but you don't want to, like, be like, hey, no, I got you the first time because they already started again.
Yeah, because then you get frustrated and you're like, no, I'm not an idiot. I'm not
I'm not stupid.
I'm not a repugnant fool. But no matter what, you come across as that, and it sucks. Like, you really wish that people wouldn't think that of you, but you have no other choice with what you have. And I did try an entire year without Adderall, and it was one of the worst years of my life. And ironically, that's when Logan Hub was at its most popular. But it was absolutely miserable, god-awful. I hated myself. I hated life because I was like, what's wrong with me? And then I went to a different doctor, and he's like, oh, you just still have ADD. Here's your Adderall. And I tried it again. And I was like, wait, that was it? That was all?
That was the whole thing?
Yeah, that was it. And it pissed me off because I was like, all right, so rather than trying to ignore the fact that I have this disease, maybe I should just conform to it. But Sekiro, wow, how did we get so off track? Sekiro is a game for people who don't have this disease, or at least they have a lesser form. Because I know for a fact, considering our SAT scores and which colleges we went to for which reasons, Nick doesn't have it as bad as I do. And I'm not using that as a crutch, but I have lived my life, and I know me more than all of you do. I know what I like sexually. It is monkeys.
Monkey.
But regardless, Nick is blazing through Sekiro. I'm stuck on the first general, and I've had this game 2 weeks before he did.
Yeah.
That is something. That is saying something. And no matter what I do, I go back every day and I try to kill him, and I cannot, for the life of me, time anything other than the jumps. I can time the jumps just fine. Everything else is not telegraphed properly to me, and I don't know what it is. And it's so frustrating to play that game when I can't even beat the first quote-unquote boss. And it makes it very discouraging for me to continue playing. I'll be like, alright, let me try Sekiro again today. And if I beat this guy, I'll keep going. And I don't beat him. I died to just basic infantry. The ones without the hats, too. And fucking, I play Dwarf Fortress. Like, I play hard games. Like, we are both adept at hard video games. Very, very hard video games. But there's certain types that we're good at. Some people are good at Guitar Hero Through the Fire and the Flames. Some of us are good at Sekiro.
Yay.
I am good at Dwarf Fortress. And he probably is not good at Dwarf Fortress. I'm not good at Sekiro. I'm fine with that. Fuck this game. I love it. It's a fantastic game. It should be 10 out of 10. I hate it, though. It makes me feel bad thoughts, and I want to drive scissors into my eyeball until it reaches my cranium when I play it. I love this game. It's a great game.
Great game. Great graphics, great gameplay.
Great graphics, great gameplay. Let's move on to a different topic.
Finally saw Fish Fuckers 5000, also known as The Shape of Water.
I've yet to see it.
Oh, damn it. I was hoping this could be like a whole thing.
No.
I took so long thinking of calling it Fish Fuckers 5000.
Fish Fuckers 5. Well, see, you've seen Fish Fuckers 5000. I've seen Skinny Pedophile Eats a Fairy after Jailbait Eats a Grape.
What's that?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah, we do need to watch that movie. We should just do like all of...
We should just do a Guillermo del Toro
We should
day.
do a Guillermo del Toro day.
And then halfway through, we can watch Pacific Rim.
Yeah, there you go. See, like, Shape of Water, it was good. And don't get me wrong, it was like a really good movie, and I get why it won an Oscar. But also, there were so many times where I was just like, man, this lady, this deaf lady just looked up and was like, yeah, I'm gonna or I think she's deaf. Maybe she's just mute. But she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that bitch thing.
I mean, fucking the lady from Hellbenders, Hellboy fucked the fish too. So if anything, that was just a lead up.
Man,
and they're played by the same actor
it's
too.
It's part of this mermaid culture, man. I'm telling you.
It's part of this mermaid culture. I swear to God, that's the new furry.
I don't get wanting to be a mermaid. I just don't get why immediately. It's
like that one girl from high school.
It's an international crisis.
We all know that one girl from high school who wants to be a mermaid, like, really badly. But it's like, it's so hard seeing from other people's cultures. Like, people who are too soy boy, as I've previously stated, or people who are too redneck, like I haven't previously stated, but people who are too, let's just say, too horse, like, you know, those horse girls? We went to school with one.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, they are just, those girls that, like, have, like, fucking pictures of horses on, like, their backgrounds.
On
everywhere.
Everything.
Yeah, like horses are not that. You could be a dog lover, sure. You could be a cat lover. I'm not. You could be a ferret, hedgehog, fish.
I've met horse girls at my current, right now in my life that aren't absolutely obsessed like these people that we're talking about in high school. Where like they do like rodeos and stuff, but they don't talk about horses all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just that whenever I see whenever I play a video game where it's like, you can have a horse if you want to, like Skyrim or something like that, I'm like, no thanks, I'll walk. Just because these specific girls ruin it for me. There's something about horses that's just so miserable and like cringeworthy almost. Which is ironic because we were both bronies at one point.
Well, we were both bronies at one point, but to be fair, the reason that we were bronies wasn't because we were
into horses.
We weren't into horses, and I mean, we watched the show.
I would fuck a horse.
But I would go so far as to say that me and you at least, watched it with some regard of irony behind it.
Oh, for first, yeah, we definitely did.
I always felt like there was some like disregard of the primary concept of the show.
Oh, I went full like robot into it, like 100%. I was like writing fan fictions, I was looking at fan art, I was like, if I could date any girl, it would be a human version of this girl. And then by the end of it, like senior year of high school, I was like, I'm a I'm just garbage, aren't I? I am broken. I'm broken like BoJack Horseman. Ironic! BoJack Horseman, which is now our favorite thing. I was just broken at that point, and I realized, well, the person that got us into it, which is a super awesome person who we all love.
I think that's what kept us going. Is what I was. That's what I was building up to. Is the dude that got us into it, which hopefully we'll get him back in here eventually and get him for at least a podcast or something.
Oh, he's got to visit again.
We got to get him. It would be awesome to have him for an episode.
And once he's here, we can finally say his name and be like, this man did it.
This is the one we mentioned in podcast number 3.
But we can't do that. We can't do that until he comes here. Otherwise, that's just unauthorized. Regardless. It's a fine line, and we just don't like horse people. Like, horse people are a different variety of girls and
crazy,
guys.
Yeah.
Crazy rodeo guys and strange women.
Like, by no means am I saying if you like horses, you're crazy, but if you're obsessed with horses, yes, you are crazy.
And mermaid girls are also similar to horse girls. It's just different side of the ocean. I feel like
mermaid is just like a really big epidemic nowadays.
It's just basically the fish version of a centaur.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
I hadn't thought about it like that yet.
I haven't either. That came up on the fly.
I like it when your brain just like comes up with fun little things. I feel like I'm decent at analogies in that regard, but my brain just makes those associations really quickly. You're really good at that shit, though.
I am super good at metaphors. I don't know why. I just like... The way that I learn things is I think of them in metaphors, and when I learn something new, I come up with a new metaphor for them so I can like associate it, so I can remember it.
I wonder if that'll pick up on the audio.
You should make it a fart sneeze. Nick farted, everybody.
Oh no! Don't tell him now.
I gotta go grab my mom's vape now. Vape over it. Regardless, I think the original point is after this podcast, we should watch a bit of Pan's Labyrinth and then see if you like it. If you do, we should keep watching it.
And down.
Yeah, and then afterwards we gotta make your brother watch more church. You know what's actually segue. Nick and I are humongous JoJo fans.
It's true.
I was the first one out of all my friends and family to get into JoJo, and I did that because of a gif of Joseph Joestar just screaming, or a Webm, an MP4, whatever. And then I was like, fuck it, I gotta watch this show. And I did, and I loved it. And then slowly but surely, I spread it to about like 20 of us. You gotta change the battery?
No, I'm just checking on how long we've been recording.
How long?
Oh, we're about 40 minutes right now.
Wow!
So we got like 20-ish more minutes of recording to do.
I hope anyone that is angry at my Soyboys statement gets over it real fast because I'm drunk, and drunk people don't exactly say things that they exactly mean. Regardless, no one in JoJo is a soy boy.
Well,
they're all cool.
Be if you wanted to take a quick break.
Take a quick break.
I'm already Genji. I'm already Tracer.
Maybe I'll be Widowmaker.
I'm already Widowmaker.
But what if I'm Bastion?
Nerf Bastion. We're recording on all fronts, by the way.
We're back!
We're back!
We had a good break.
Yeah, we took a nice
We had a great break!
In case any of you were wondering why it just cut a little bit, that's because we took a little break. Because pooping is a thing that happens.
I don't poop outside of my house, but that's a different issue. We're talking about JoJo and my boss.
I done pooped.
So, sorry, a bit of my mom's vapo. I'm borrowing it. Because when times get stressful, cut around that though. Fucking my boss and JoJo. So, like I said, we are humunculous fans. Also, did you order that burrito?
Yeah, I did.
Good. I will Venmo you soon.
Venmo me? Wow.
Hold me to it, because I will.
Oh.
Stop turning me on. You have no idea
your fingers are weirdly sweet.
Are they? They should not be.
Yeah, they're more sugary than salty in my opinion.
now I have
It's
to
oddly off-putting, but almost pineapple-y, I would go so far as to say. Have you been eating pineapple recently?
Yes! But that's not the point. Fucking my boss and JoJo. So, as I've said, we are both avid JoJo fans, and as JoJo fans, we like to spread it everywhere, including like, is that a fucking JoJo reference? Well, okay, maybe we don't do that because that's annoying, and we don't like to tear down fandoms by being a part of their annoying trends. Because we are already, as we've already said, bronies. Him not seriously, me seriously. And we know what it's like to be a part of a fandom that does really cringy, like, diaper, fleshlight shit.
Yay.
Wahoo. Me more than him. Way me more than way him. That's actually why I got out, because I found regular bronies to be annoying, and then the /MLP bronies on 4chan to be more tolerable, and then I looked back and I was like, these guys are the absolute worst.
Wow.
So the people that keep spreading JoJo references and stuff like that kept annoying me, and I'm like, no, don't do this to us. Don't do this to us. And yeah. But my boss currently, well, my main boss is my dad, because he owns the company. And I've got some preliminary bosses in between, and then I've got my crew leader, and he's trying to get me into Naruto, like the original one. And he's saying, go watch it with the sub instead of the dub. It'll be a lot better. And I did. And I will admit, it is a lot better, but it's still Naruto. And it makes it really hard to watch when it is Naruto with that association. If I had no clue what it was, if it was just some sort of underground shit with no fandom whatsoever, and I wasn't alive in 2006, I would like it. But I was. And I got to see all those fucking YouTube AMVs about Fall Out Boy playing over Naruto and Sasuke fighting when they were kids, and it really, really puts a bad image on them, like classically. It's like if you went back and you tried to watch like a...
Come on, I believe in you. Come on. I love this brain. He'll have an idea in just a moment here. Boy.
It's like if you... Oh, there we go. It's like if you listen to Panic at the Disco while watching Avatar: The Last Airbender at the exact same time. How about that?
Wait, as an analogy for what? For watching Naruto?
Yeah, because for some people, Naruto is like a completely unique experience, but all those kids that watched Avatar, some of which are our best friends, whenever they talk about it, it's a little bit hard to listen to them. And,
I agree with that.
Panic at the Disco is Fall Out Boy, if Fall Out Boy could learn how to make music for the future generation.
I feel like that's like a lot of things, though, in terms of explaining it to other people, is like, you have to be somewhat in the fandom to be able to bring that information to other people. But at the same time, it's hard to not be so into the fandom that you absolutely ruin it when you're talking about it to other people, if that makes sense. Like, you have to find that right balance of really, really liking something so that you can talk about it educatedly. But you don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, have you seen this show? I love it so much, let me tell you. Or like that guy that I saw at Safeway that was like freaking out about Spider-Gwen to the cashier for like 10 minutes straight when she had to like get someone over there to ring her item in, and she was just sitting there like, yeah, I gotta listen to this guy for 5 more minutes go off about why he's buying a coloring book for Spider-Gwen because of her release in the comic books and all this.
Yeah, no, it's really hard not to fandom about something when you're really excited about that. I learned that at the bar that I worked at, the pinball bar, because I'd play JoJo every so often, because I could play whatever the fuck I want, or I could have, or I did, rather. I could play whatever the fuck I wanted at that place. So I played JoJo every once in a while, and people would ask about it. I'm like, this show's awesome. But there's 2 different paths I could take, casual and fangirl. And sometimes I'd take fangirl and be like, dude, this show's awesome. These are all the weird things that happened in it. But it's so interesting because no other show would do it. And it's so fascinating that it would do it. And you wouldn't get this from anywhere else. It's so awesome. And this character does this, and this character does... And they just tune out. Whereas I could be like, this show's actually pretty good, man. Like, you should check it out. It's on Hulu. Definitely watch it with subs. Yeah, dude, it's alright. And I found that people who approach things casually get more of a response. My boss sort of like fandomed Naruto to me, where he's like, dude, like this Shudapin goes in and he goes to the Chunin and he's got the fucking frog from Master Roichi and Master Roichi gave him the ability to turn into multiple clones, so he has the Master Rasengan, and I'm like, dude, you've said about
Man,
like
just
20
speak
words.
English to me.
Yeah, you're just saying words and I'm processing them, but I don't know what the hell they mean. So go ahead and speak English when you want to, and I'll watch the show. And it's kind of turned me off to it. I mean, he's done a successful job at making the show seem a little bit better than what I currently view it as, or what I used to view it as. But even then, it's only a slight notch to maybe I'll watch it, instead of I'm definitely not watching this again. I don't know. I want to get him on JoJo, but when I describe it in the casual way that I do, I only bring up a few things, and I say like some cool details that he might like. Like part of it takes place in Colorado. If you're on part 7, that the characters do these interesting things, and that these characters are interesting people, and it's so hard to get people onto it because it's just such an unknown name, and I wish it wasn't. But then again, if it was, then I would have to deal with all the people that ruin
All the people that would freak out about it. Yep.
Yep. And quite frankly, I'm not ready for that at all.
At
At
all.
all.
Anyways,
Is that a power thing?
that was a little bit of a power thing.
Nick's got a lot of power things.
I got a lot of power things. I
We've-
am recognizable by my power stance.
Yeah, Nick, if you'd like to go ahead and do the power stance for our
For
viewers.
anyone that actually is watching and using the visual element of this
Out of the
podcast, which
three-
if you're not, no disrespect.
Out of the 3 people watching,
You just gotta really.
for this brief moments, I will switch it to. No, you took the remote.
No, those remotes, the light remotes should be. Oh, they're over here.
Yeah, they're over
I
there.
pushed
Grab
him
it.
off like a cat.
Meow. Well, you already kind of are a cat.
You just
So,
gotta
like-
really assume a nice, powerful stance here. You know, just.
That's
get a
what
nice...
he does whenever he's trying to assert himself.
It's not even like a conscious thing though. At this point, at this stage in the game, it's just like my natural way of standing.
He looks like a woman who's trying to prove that she can pee standing up.
And I am a woman who can pee standing up.
Okay, that was a joke. Do not worry, my friend. That was only humor.
We're on this one right now. Bam, bam.
You are correct. No.
Also, that's how the lights change, since I don't think we've ever actually had it on camera.
True. Yeah, we got special remotes for them. They also worked at the pinball bar that I worked at. They were awesome. Our good friend, that name begins with a J, installed them at the flip side, so that's a small little detail for my friend here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? He did it himself because he was best friends with the owner at that time that I got him hired. Regardless, Nick's power stance actually kind of works sometimes, and by sometimes I mean most of the time.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, honestly, like sometimes he'll just do that power stance to me when we're talking about something important, and subconsciously I'm like, Nick is really confident about this issue.
He's got a good point.
That's a good yes. Whenever you do that power stance to like anyone about, obviously on camera it doesn't show, and by all means,
obviously you don't feel intimidated by this 100.
I don't feel intimidated.
White boy.
I feel like you're just giving me a thumbs up, like a thumbs up with your body,
Or body thumb up.
and it makes me like you agree with my statement a little bit more, and I'm like, hell yeah, Nick is into it, Nick is down with it. Either that or like Nick has got a point with whatever he's saying, and meanwhile I'm sitting here like hunched over like this with my little chicken wings, and I'm like hunchback of Notre
In classic T-Rex
hunchback of burned down building.
Oh, speaking
sort
of, do you
stance.
think he was able to get out of the building? Do you
No,
You don't think Quasimodo? I like to think he was out on the town being a bad boy when it happened.
I think he sort of Anakin Skywalkered,
You think he?
and he like crawled
You
out.
think I thought you meant he started the fire.
No, I mean like he just survived it. He looked over at Macron, who is their current prime minister, and he was like, "You are the chosen one! I loved you, Hunchback! I loved you, Quasimodo!" And Quasimodo looked over and he's like,
I like to think Quasimodo was sitting there trying to be cool, like he saw some kids on the street and he was like able to get them up into the tower, and he was like, "Ha! Yeah, I'm cool. And they were like, can you buy us cigarettes? And he was like, yeah, I'll buy you cigarettes. And then he bought kids cigarettes, and then they set the Notre Dame on fire.
Just like all the casual ass stories of like all the like the fucking forests in California burning down.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, we're just setting off fireworks and everything caught on
And
fire.
suddenly, yeah, it was just like one of those where he was just trying to be cool, but he just ended up burning down a landmark.
It's fucked up, and by all means, my heart goes out to the history and artwork that's burnt down in Los Notre Damos.
Yeah, I believe that's the classic pronunciation.
Yes, exactly. But fortunately, no one died, and because Assassin's Creed Unity is free on Steam right now.
I was going to say, also, apparently they're using Assassin's Creed Unity to help restore it from an article that I scrolled past on Facebook, so don't take that for long. That's
actually kind of heartwarming. One, that Ubisoft gave a shit slightly about a game that was ultimately kind of bad. And two, that gamers rise. We actually mattered at one point.
Right, we helped something in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Civ 4 won a Grammy, Assassin's Creed Unity, helping these dudes rebuild, Gary's Mod helping small Scottish villages plan their urban development, shit like that. I don't know, fam.
Wow.
It's just kind of nice to live in the future.
Yeah, it's nice.
Speaking of which, what do you think is like the most futuristic technology that you take for granted that you don't realize when you're a kid would be absolutely like fucking amazing?
It's not a technology that I personally have at the moment, but honestly, I think like the most future tech thing we have right now is like Alexa.
I was just gonna say Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa is like honestly like the most futuristic thing I can think of off the top of my head, especially when you combine it with like smart plugs and smart this and that. Because like I was talking to people that'll just like have things that you can't turn on, like, or that take time to heat up, whatever. And you'll just be like, Alexa, turn on this power outlet, and it'll turn something on for you while you're still getting home. Then boom, it's ready to roll by the time you get home.
It is literally like a little.
It's like having an actual electronic. It's like having an actual Jarvis or like an electronic butler around your house. Like,
but you can have a conversation with Jarvis. That's a difference.
Yeah, that's the difference. There is that has like a.
Do you know that at the bottom of the deep web, you could actually beyond all like the human trafficking, the big games hunters, and the illegal hunting traffickers, the human traffickers,
Drug
and the
trafficking.
Yeah, and the gun trafficking and the really dank memes. At the very bottom of the deep web, apparently from a thing that I saw on Know Your Meme, apparently lies the existence of supercomputers, AI in a box, which is essentially Jarvis on the go, virus information. Apparently they said the location of Atlantis. I don't know if that's true.
Aw, man, they gave it up.
They gave it up. Oh man, it was in Chicago this whole time.
Ah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have guessed. It was in Cleveland.
No one ever would have looked in Cleveland.
What I was gonna say is that
that's
have
an
you ever
Atlantean accent if you were curious.
No. Or like native or like Hindu.
Wait, native or Hindu? What?
I didn't hear your accent very well.
Oh, I couldn't replicate it if I wanted to. It just kind of came out of my mouth.
The location of the. Nope,
it was,
we're cutting that out.
It was more like a. Honestly, it was more like a Scottish.
The
almost.
location.
It was like a Scottish. It was like that Scottish-British hybrid, like right where Ireland and England's borders are.
So basically, that redheaded chick on Doctor Who.
Yeah, basically the redheaded chick on Doctor Who.
Karen Gilliam.
I don't remember her character's name. Was that I just watched a video about Clara.
No,
that wasn't Clara.
Clara was the worst
Clara,
one.
my bad. Jeez.
You dumb.
Fuck.
Clara was the worst assistant. Everyone hates her.
Okay.
No, Amy was her name.
Amy!
Amy and Rory were the assistants together.
Okay, cool.
And she, honestly, if you look at pictures of her now, she is my waifu.
I wish she was my waifu.
She's my number 2 waifu. My number 1 is my girlfriend.
Wow, that's really fucking cool. What am I at? Okay, cool.
Number 3 is Isabella from Animal Crossing.
That's a decent third.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters in Smash Brothers, Joker. What the fuck do you want to say?
I was just going to say is, have you ever gotten your robot assistants confused? Like you're saying, hey Google, hey Siri, hey Cortana, and you mix them up like a grandmother trying to remember her grandchildren's name, and then you're like, oh, Alexa, and you're like, wow, what a time to live in. in which I confuse my robot slaves' names.
No, but did I ever tell you that, like, in 8th grade or something like that, I put a post on Facebook that was like, all I'm saying is that if Microsoft had a thing that would talk to you called Cortana, I would totally buy every single Microsoft product. And then,
and you called it!
3 years later...
And it's voiced by...
It's a voice thing, and they brought in Cortana, and I was like, oh, you son of a bitch, someone follows me on Facebook here.
They knew that any other thing that wasn't Cortana... Cortana.
Because that's all I wanted. I just wanted to have an app that I could be like, Cortana, what time is it? And it would be like, Master Chief, it is 4:30.
And the fact that she has custom phrases for, like, Cortana, shake that little ass for you. And she'd be like, Chief, I don't know if I could do that. Like, that's neat, and then the other ones are just pre-generated words. Anyways.
Also, Halo Infinite. Do you think Halo Infinite's going to be really good?
No.
Oh.
It's 343.
I mean, yeah, it's 343, but, like, I have...
You have hopes.
Halo 4, I've always loved the Halo series. Halo 2 is, like, the game I grew up on. Halo Reach was, we spent much time in that game.
So much time. We made so many online friends we'll never see again and never know. But we made
Sage,
friends.
if somehow you're Sage
Please,
Killer.
Sage Killer.
I don't remember what numbers were after your username, but if you see this video and you somehow recognize my voice however many years later,
then I will
we
always
love you, man.
I will always love you from afar, 'cause you're my sage. I guess we are who we are. Anyways, we'll get to Joker in a second, but yeah, all the Halos are incredibly special to me, but Halo 4 and Halo 5 just felt like different games.
Halo 5 didn't really resonate with me at all.
Halo 4 did something.
The Cortana at the end of Halo 4 really got me at my core, and it gave me a lot of hope for 5.
At your Cortana.
It got me at my Cortana.
Wow, fucking, just shot a bit of dust into my mouth.
Ouchie, ouchie.
Yeah, only every so often do I bring it to my job sites because work is stressful.
But I really am hoping that who the is calling me?
Oh, probably your Uber. Oh, or maybe my burrito. Maybe my burrito.
1 sec, answer the phone just in case. We're keeping this on the podcast.
Mahoy hoy. Yes. You're out of rice? Oh, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I can live without it. So sorry for calling you or ordering so late, by the way. Alright, yep. No problem. Bye. Wrong number. Yeah, Big City Burrito just called me to say that they're out of rice.
Well...
Shit! Oh, my life is ruined! I was hungo because I barely eat on site because I don't have a lot of money. I only had
You need time.
I need time, Morgan.
And money.
And money. And you're like, Dutch! No, that's Marston.
Dutch.
They all sound the same.
They all have, there's slight nuances to each.
Well, yeah, because they're different human beings.
Like, if you're Marston, then you have to talk really high, but, like, you smoked 15 packs of cigarettes a day.
And if you're Arthur, then you gotta smoke...
Arthur!
You got.
I can't... No, that wasn't a good Marston.
See, that's the thing, is that...
I got a good Marston, I just have to be in the right zone.
The reason why you can't sound like everyone at the exact same time is because... they all have the same accents, but are done by distinct human beings who have distinct different vocal cords. So when you try to replicate them, they sound the same because they're doing pretty much the same accent, but just by different human beings. And it makes it very difficult to do.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So John Marston and Arthur Morgan sound the same when you try to do them. And Dutch can sound different, but it's all contextual when you try to do their voice. Joker and Smash Bros.
Joker and Smash Bros.
We were just talking about Red Dead Redemption 2.
We were just talking about Red Dead, so I mean it's a video game segue.
Joker from Smash Bros is awesome.
Awesome. I loved him in Persona 5. I love that game. That's a crazy awesome game that I've poured a ton of time into and still haven't beat, honestly.
There's just so much that you could do. It's like The Witcher 3.
Yeah, dude, it's like, you got it, and it's measured out by days, so it makes you plan out like, I've got this day, and I've got this amount of time that I got to do stuff with, but I want to level up some of my stats so I can have all this cool outside of games, like outside of combat world stuff going on. But also I got to go into the combat world, and it makes you make really interesting video game choices, which I really like. As like an actual character as compared to like, are you going to be the good guy or the bad guy? It's more...
Yeah. It's not like trying to Mass Effect 3 you.
Yeah, it's not like the clear Paragon or the clear Renegade option.
It's like, who are you gonna romance today?
It's
are you
like,
gonna get
how
that sexy teacher over here?
It's like, how are you gonna spend
cat?
your day?
Are you gonna fuck the cat?
I might.
And
I'm gonna try.
there's the story is just the soundtrack, the story, the visuals, everything in that game is perfected, and it makes me so glad that Persona was influenced by JoJo in a way. It weirds me out that Persona 3, you summoned your Persona by shooting yourself in the head.
Well, that's just a good way to summon your Persona, you know what I'm saying?
Persona 4 was kind of, it wasn't gross by any means, it was just different.
Yeah.
Like all the, from what I hear, all the Personas before were like, you're welcomed into this home and everyone is so kind to you, whereas in this new one it's like, you better fucking work, you live in my shitty attic, and I hate you. And that was an interesting twist.
Well, and it also adds this really nice element of you like wanting to spend time with certain characters to make them like you more and to gain reputation with them to give you different powers. Like honestly, every little element of that game that they all sort of work together, and it's just such a beautiful masterpiece of things webbed into each other.
It really is.
And
like,
it makes me wish that I had finished it already so I could talk better about it. But it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard because we have... I'm not going to lie. I feel like 2016, 2015, 2014 were shitty years for games. They were possibly some of the worst. And the only good ones that came out of it were like Undertale, Rocket League, Dark Souls 3.
Horizon Zero Dawn came out in that span, didn't it?
Shut up. Yeah, it did. It did, though. You got a point.
I'm just trying to remember like all the good games. Like not trying to undermine your point. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
like, there were a few bangers in there.
Yeah, Fortnite definitely came around in that area. It just wasn't popular. PUBG most certainly came out in that area. They were still doing like Black Ops and shit like that, and it didn't quite make sense. And we were just getting done with like the military shooters, and there just wasn't any like standouts that were like consistently notable. It was just like one or two per year that you could finish.
That was totally an era of video games too, is just like shooters, like fucking modern day shooters.
Yeah, Donkey even made a video about the worst year of gaming being 2016, and then the next year he made 2017 the best year of gaming, which is highly ironic because I feel like we are living in that since 2011. 2011 was a real spike since like 2007 and 2009 because we had like games like Dark Souls and Mass Effect 2 and shit like that. And now we've got so much, like Nick probably hasn't even finished Neo, and we're already on Sekiro.
Yeah,
which
to be
means
fair,
that
though,
Neo is going to be forgotten.
To be fair, I was gonna say I don't think that I'm ever gonna finish Neo.
Because you got Sekiro.
Because I've got Sekiro first of all, and also I just didn't love the combat style of Neo.
Because no one could ever make a Soulsborne game like Soulsborne
Yeah,
games.
it's true. No one can ever pull it off quite the way that FromSoft pulls it off. Like, even games that use the exact same game mechanics, like Lords of the Fallen.
Or, a Let It Die.
Or The Surge.
Which
I haven't played The Surge, but I know it uses pretty much the same mechanics.
Which sucks because Let It Die had the coolest version of death I've ever seen, which was a Spanish Brooklyn man with X-ray glasses that still look like the Grim Reaper. And Neo had little babies with little hats.
Yeah.
But we're not going to finish them, obviously.
It's just...
You gotta find the games to dedicate.
There's a certain environment that FromSoft is able to build in their games that just... It's so satisfying and compelling to explore their worlds and find all this extra little hidden stuff. Like, that's how I ended up in Sekiro, where I'm at right now. Getting all the crazy cool prosthetics is because I was like, okay, I don't know how to beat this guy, but what if I just go through and I, like, kick a bunch of ass?
Yep.
And just try to find some hidden stuff, eavesdrop on more people that I haven't seen, like just explore hidden areas that I haven't necessarily found yet, just follow little trails. And I found a bunch of cool stuff, and that's awesome and gratifying.
And even though I am a Gaijin Baka, yes, I'll say it, I am a Blanco Nino, I am a Cabron. It doesn't mean that I don't recognize that Sekiro has a terrible story, because it has a great story. I may not be able to identify it as much as Bloodborne or Dark Souls because I am a white man, I'm a honky, I'm a cracker.
Well, it's definitely starting to develop too, I think.
Yeah. Once I actually finally get into it, then I'm going to get into it. And I enjoy that because From Software is no stranger to really good storytelling. I think long story short is that we have a lot of games.
We have
a lot of
to play
games to
through.
get through, and Persona 5 is a big clearer. I tried to get into The Witcher, I couldn't. Nick and I currently play each other in Civ. Joker is available in Smash, so we're playing that. And I work a 7 to 5 job, which means I have, like, Monday through Friday, which means I have a very limited time to play video games. And if I want to blow off steam, I'm not going to play a game that pisses me off.
And speaking of video games, we're gonna post a Let's Play of Mortal Kombat 11 the day it comes out.
Yes.
The 23rd, which is
23rd.
Tuesday. If this video comes out beforehand, which I'm gonna try to get this one out before the other podcast we have filmed right now.
We'll call this one number 2.
This one will probably end up being number 2, and the other one will be number 3. Those two are in reverse order. It'll blow your minds.
We should put like a little intro that's like the losing music in a Mario Party game that's like and it's like one of us being like right up to the microphone being like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. This is supposed to be episode 3. No, it's episode 2." And then the other one's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. This one's episode 2. It's probably supposed to be episode 3."
Yeah, we'll do something with it. But we'll be streaming Mortal Kombat 11. Or not streaming, but posting a Let's Play of it. We're going to start doing Let's Plays series of games that we like, and hopefully you guys will like that.
Yeah, because
that's combining two things that we really do love.
And honestly, posting a video which is like a whole skit, like a whole rant, that requires a lot of editing, it takes a lot out of you, and consistently doing it, it's kind of a real big wear and tear on you.
These
and
podcasts are honestly like a really nice, refreshing little thing for us to do on this channel.
Because all you really need to do is go through and like properly bleep everything.
Yeah, I just gotta bleep stuff out, which is pretty easy.
And then you could unlist the full video for Patreon subscribers.
Oh yeah, if you're on Patreon 20, or I want to say it's $20 and up, is you get the uncensored version.
Please God, donate to it, because I gotta pay my own mortgage, and he doesn't have enough money.
Yeah, I need more.
He needs more. He needs more to live. He's an Imperial in Skyrim, and I am a filthy Nord.
But for real, that's one thing I feel like I was gonna say this way earlier, is that if we actually do like get enough money on this this channel, making enough money to where we can do this full time,
we will.
That would be awesome.
It's gonna take a bit though.
It's gonna take some time. No,
we're starting back from square one now.
I know, it's so crazy starting from like 0 subs again.
But now you get the wholesome experience of, well, you got 23 subscribers. That doesn't seem like
25,
a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. There's a difference. Is that it doesn't seem like a lot, but just imagine just a room of 25 people who are like clapping for you and support you and shit like that, and that's gratifying.
It's nice. It's nice.
I want to say that I could do that with like a stadium of 22,000, but I can't. It's more like a high school auditorium of 1,000 as of right now, and then 22,000 people that have forgotten about me but are too wimpy to unsubscribe. But I still love those 1,000, and I hope that at least 100 of them carry over to MountainTime, because then those will be the true fans, and we will force them to support us.
Alrighty, folks, and that is going to be this episode of Mountaincast. Thank you for tuning in today.
All of you, please, I am very sorry for the murder I committed. I didn't mean it. She just forced me. She forced my hand. Please, God, believe me in a court of law.
Like the video, comment on the video if you have any questions for us, have anything you want to see us do or talk about specifically.
And be sure to share this video wherever you can. We love you guys, and we want to reach out to as many of you as we can.
And check out that Patreon we were talking about. Have a great day, y'all.
Yeah, see us on MountainTime.